This painting is called "I Did Not Feel the Cold," the baptism of Wilford Woodruff. So we went up into the mountains to a church-owned ranch called the Ensign Ranch, which is about 100 miles east from here. And they had a lake that was frozen over. And I went out and I broke up the ice just the way they would have had to with an axe. My photographer walked out on the ice, took pictures. I was directing. I have a photographer because I'm not a photographer, but I know what I want. And we had people on the shore, some of whom came with my models, my model for Wilford Woodruff and my model for Zara Pulsifer. The photographer had a baby with her. That baby is being held by a woman who is a missionary with her husband, who are there at the ranch. There are also 6 service missionaries who stay at the ranch full time. They're in the background. I'm in the background. There was a shot of me and I thought, oh, that'll fit just fine. But we went down, we did the dunk. We didn't say the prayer because it's not a real baptism, but we did everything as if it were a real baptism. And I told them that they only had to do it once. Once they did it once, I said, hey, can you do it again? And they, being already wet, said, oh, sure. And I knew that they would because I know cold water. And once you're in it, you're in it. So, but we had about 50 photographs. And then I had a tent there waiting for them to warm up and change clothes and pour hot water over themselves. There was attention to safety for my models, which I also speculate they would have paid attention to in the real baptism. You'll see in the background of the painting that there's a rope tied to a tree so that if they couldn't claw their way up the muddy frozen slope, they can pull their way up with a rope, which they ended up not needing, but it was there for their safety, and it's in the painting because they might have done that too. You see the axe in the painting where I chopped up the ice, and they would have done that too. And then, having produced all of that reference material, I go back to the computer, I make a composite in Photoshop of what I want the painting to look like, and then I paint the painting. So it's a lot of work. It was really 6 weeks between planning and sketches and doing the painting. That what I spent the most time on this painting was the face of Wilford Woodruff, and how, first of all, the photographs of him, he's looking straight at you. I have him looking up to heaven as he comes up out of the baptism. So there's a logical challenge of me having to produce that from my model and then try to put Wilford Woodruff's face on it. But then to put into it the message of the painting, to have him looking cold, but ignoring the cold for the higher purpose, which is his faith, and to put that faith into the expression on his face was the great challenge of this painting. What inspires me is the inspiration of the people involved, the inspiration that Wilford Woodruff felt in his own personal baptism, and also the inspiration of the participants, the people that I asked to model for me or to provide support at the ranch where the photo shoot was taken. These people all did this because of their heritage of faith, that they saw in it both their heritage as members of the church and the history of the church that is being put into this picture, and their own faith in that membership and that process. Faith that drives somebody to go down into water that's freezing and get dunked in it for a higher purpose.